Hello internet people, it's Dominic here from switch2ecigs.com. I thought as I'm going to tell you about Juicy Vapor, I might as well show you some. We import it from the United States, from Juicy Vapor in New York, and they ship it to us in bags like this. Lots and lots and lots of them. If you're not familiar with Juicy Vapor, you soon will be if you visit switch2ecigs.com or you watch this channel. They're based in the States. They have offices in New York and in Chicago. And we sell it. We import it and we stick it on our website and we sell it in the UK. We're exclusive UK distributor, the only UK distributor. And we distribute in Europe as well. Question is why? It's not because it's cheap, because it's not. It's not particularly cheap in the United States. That's because it's not mass produced. It's handmade, which takes time and care and attention, and it's much more expensive than mass produced e-liquid. By the time we buy it from Juicy Vapor and import it to the UK and pay the shipping charges and the customs duty, which incidentally is a whopping 16.6%, and VAT on top of all that, it's difficult to sell it cheaply. But we still sell it, and we've been selling it for the last 4 months or so. I've been using it. I'm just over a year now since I stopped smoking the killer weed, and I've been smoking vaping instead. And I've been using Juicy Vapor for 8 months exclusively, nothing else. And that's because there's no need. It's a very high quality juice. It's made from pharmaceutical grade ingredients, USP rated ingredients. The main ingredients are glycerin and propylene glycol, or one or the other depending on your recipe. We sell the reduced PG propylene glycol recipe, which is a combination of propylene glycol and glycerin, plus of course the flavourings and the all important nicotine, although you can have it without, and that does work for some people. The point is, over a year ago I started vaping, and I started with a cheapest chips kit off Amazon and cheapest chips e-liquid, and you know, it was okay. It did the job. It got me started. A couple of weeks in, I was using the cartridges that came pre-filled with liquid, which is still available today, and they have a nylon filler or other filler to hold the e-liquid and drip it onto an atomizer. And then came along tank cartridges, which you could get pre-filled, and cartomizers, which you could buy pre-filled and stick onto your e-cig battery. And I tried all of those, and they worked because they delivered the nicotine, but I was never very impressed with the flavour. And of course, in the day of the internet, you start hunting around and you type in e-liquid flavours and premium e-liquid. And I tried a lot of UK companies, because obviously the first thing you do is you don't go rushing off to the United States when you want to buy something. You want to get it locally because it's quicker and generally cheaper. And that's true. And there's a lot of companies in the UK that will sell you e-liquid. Some of them make it in the UK, and some of them make very good e-liquid. But the vast majority, and it's not just in the UK, it's everywhere where e-cigs and e-liquid are sold. Internet information says more than 90% of e-liquid comes from China. The advantage of using that e-liquid is it's very, very cheap to get your hands on. And it should be cheap when it's resold to you. It's not always as cheap as it should be. But the flavourings aren't that good because it's mass produced. The reason it's cheap is They make it in huge, huge quantities in China. And perhaps their palate, dare I say it, is slightly different to the Western palate. And some of the flavours they produce, you know, they might knock out a bubblegum flavour. Might not taste like a bubblegum flavour you get from the United States. Now, I bought a lot of juices. Nothing really impressed me. I swapped from cartridges to an e-liquid and started filling my own cartridges, you know, getting the bottle and putting the liquid in there, because it's cheaper than buying cartridges that are pre-filled, unless they're the not so nice ones from China. But otherwise it's cheaper. And I started hunting around for better flavours. And I saw a video on YouTube, just like you're watching now, about Juicy Vapor. And I thought, that's interesting. And I went to their website and found that they did over 700 flavours. It's now up to 800 flavours and growing. And a wide range of flavours to appeal to all tastes. And I was impressed. I have to say, maybe biased, maybe I grew up in the States until I was 11 or 12. And, you know, things like root beer flavour, they just simply weren't available in the UK, nor from China. Things like that attracted me, and I got my first order of Juicy Vapor in May last year, a year ago. And orange creamsicle was one of the first things I got, and root beer float. And I was blown away. It had a stronger, more defined taste than any other juice I'd tried. I bought some high quality, supposedly high quality, premium e-liquid off websites in the UK, which said it was a premium quality, and it was more expensive than the other ones that they had on their website. So I thought, okay, maybe this is special, and it's not like the cheap stuff from China. And I have to tell you, I was disappointed. The juice from Juicy Vapor, I eagerly anticipated, and I wasn't disappointed. It was good stuff. I had to wait, you know, I had to order it from the States, and I had to pay shipping, and it cost quite a lot, because, you know, at that time I could only afford to buy a few bottles at a time. I only ordered, I think, 3 bottles and paid $25 or something shipping on it, and it works out quite expensive, and I had to wait a long time to get it, because they make it to order. They're handmade to order. And they don't ship it straight away, and then it does take a long time. But it impressed me, and I carried on using it despite the cost. And I got to thinking, wouldn't it be a good thing if you could get this in the UK? And I like it, and it's high quality, and I trust it, and there's more flavours than anywhere else. So for me, I stopped looking anywhere else at that point. Nobody came close to Juicy Vapor for their range of flavours, and indeed the originality of some of their flavours. Many original flavours and interesting names. And, you know, I didn't need to go anywhere else. But the price was an issue. So I thought, wouldn't it be a good idea if you could get that in the UK? And then some months later, when I decided, having been so impressed by e-cigarettes in general, I decided I want to sell them. I wanted to bring the message to smokers. I wanted to give them an alternative, and I wanted to give them a good alternative. I decided to go into business selling them, and I decided that I only wanted to sell Juicy Vapor e-liquid, because I wanted my customers and smokers trying one for the first time, or ex-smokers, to get the best experience they could. And for me, people debate this. I don't know why. They talk about what's the most important part of an e-cig, and they're all important, but surely the most important thing has got to be the liquid that you put in them, because it's only ever going to be as good as that liquid. And the rest of the e-cigarette, the cartomizer and the battery and variable voltage and whatever you use, is all about getting the best out of that e-liquid. And if it's crap to start with, it's never going to get very good. If it's great to start with, it can be fantastic. And that's what launched Juicy Vapor and made them big. French Toast, which was fantastic, particularly when you vaped it at different voltages. So I got in touch with Brad in New York, and we did a deal, and I managed to get the distribution, for the time being anyway, for the UK. Been selling it in the UK for the last 4 or 5 months. Last month we've been selling it into Europe. There's plenty of people in Europe who want it as well. You can order it from Switch 2, and it's not cheap, but you get it a lot quicker. Instead of 10 days from the States, or paying a fortune to get express shipping, and you can get it in a few days, but then it really does cost you a lot of money. In the UK you get it next day from us, and in most of Europe within a few days. Now, it's been a bit of a battle to get customers to try it because of the price. We can't sell it dirt cheap because it costs a lot of money to bring in. But despite the price, having been selling it for a few months, we've developed quite a broad customer base who are buying it, and 95% who buy it are not put off by the price again. They come back and buy it because it's that good. It really is. Brad and Anthony, who are the partners who run Juicy Vapor, big shout out to you. Good product. It's selling. It's more expensive than other juices, but it sells because it's worth it. And think about it, people. There's information out there, you can work it out for yourselves, but even if you buy a premium brand like Juicy Vapor and spend a bit more on your e-liquid, it's still going to work out. Filling up a 1ml cartridge, which is 20 cigarettes worth, 200 puffs, buying from Switch 2 Juicy Vapor, it works out about 80 odd pence a cartridge. That's 80 odd pence for 20 cigarettes worth. That's 1/10 of the price of a premium brand. Now they're selling it over £8 in the UK, which is outrageous. You can buy it for half the price if you want a cheap liquid. Sure you can. But if you've already saved £7 plus on a packet of cigarettes, and you're already saving £1,800 a year if you were a 20-day smoker by swapping to Juicy Vapor e-liquid, do you really want to sacrifice quality and taste to save a few pence more? Do you really need to? Aren't you saving enough? My feelings for myself was I could afford to spend a little bit extra, and I was still saving a lot of money versus tobacco cigarettes. And I figured if I brought it into the UK, there's plenty of other people who would feel the same way, particularly if they can get it next day and they don't have to wait for it. So we're gradually building up our range of flavours. I proved to be correct. Plenty of people are buying it. It's now selling through most major European countries as well. That's why I sell it. It's good stuff. You get a good quality juice, and you never need to look anywhere else. 800 flavours. And if there isn't a flavour in the 800 that you can find, Juicy Vapor will make it for you. You can contact them direct, or you can contact me. We'll have it made for you, and we'll get it in stock. It's as simple as that. We haven't got all the sizes at the moment. We're expanding the range. We haven't got all the strengths of nicotine, but if you want a particular strength of nicotine, or a particular size, or a particular flavour, just contact me, Dominic, at switch2ecigs.com, and I promise I'll get it for you. And then you can order it any time you like and get it the next day. Juicy Vapor rocks. You really need to try it. Thanks again, Brad and Anthony at Juicy Vapor, for bringing me this product and for bringing it to the UK. We love you for it. I don't love you for your prices, but hey, you can't have everything. Thanks for watching, people. That's why I stopped Juicy Vapor. Try some for yourself. Try it soon. Whatever you do, don't smoke. Vape.